Welcome to the Crafty Mini on this next episode for the zombie game. Now, we've just done an episode of me painting the zombies, and this initially was going to be the same sort of thing but for the survivors. Then I realised, actually let's have a bit more fun with this, because the painting is exactly the same, just obviously different colours and the flesh tones are different. That's the biggest one compared to the zombies, but the actual paint and how I go about it is identical. This is like I mentioned with the zombie one. This is all about board game standard, getting them ready to play. I'm not too fussed about the finer, massive intricate details that are on the miniatures. It's a very, very simple paint job, something that pops, that you can see when you're playing the game. So instead, what we're going to do is, I've already painted them. I'll show that up in a moment, of what the entire team looks like. So I've got 6 heroes in my band. The other ones that I made in the previous video, I've still got them, I haven't got rid of them, because maybe we can recruit people in the future. So instead what we're actually going to do is, I've used some AI art, put in the description of the paint jobs of each of the miniatures I've made and finished for my team. And then I've had the images created, and I'm going to do like a little backstory for each of the characters instead. Because this game has got some nice roleplay elements, and I want it for it to feel like it's a world that's really lived in. And for me, it adds another layer of just fun and intricacy on top of it. So using the roleplay elements in the seasons, I'm going to get more attached to these characters, and should something horrific happen to them, well, we'll see what happens. So this is the team, and we'll go from there. The air was thick with dust and the taste of metal, but it was better than the taste of death. Mac, once a barman, now a wanderer in this wasteland, surveyed the ruins of what had once been a town. His eyes, accustomed to pouring drinks and making small talk, now scanned for any sign of movement that might betray the presence of the walking dead. His group, a ragtag collection of survivors, huddled together in the shadow of a crumbling overpass, their weapons at the ready. Mac knew that they were lucky to have found this place, but also knew that luck could run out quickly in a world like this. Eli woke up to the sound of gunfire, his heart racing. He knew that meant the group was either out hunting or fighting off zombies. He sat up, wincing at his head. He was pounding from the cold, hard ground. He was lying among the remains of what used to be a film set, now reduced to little more than a collection of broken charred boards and twisted metal. The air was thick with dust and an acrid smell of smoke, a constant reminder of the never-ending struggle to survive in this desolate wasteland. Once upon a time, this place had been bustling with life, laughter, and the excited cries of the other actors. Now it was a silent graveyard, haunted by the ghosts of a better past. The desolate landscape stretches out in every direction, devoid of life and hope. The only sound is the distant moaning of the undead, their putrid flesh rotting as they shuffle aimlessly in search of a next meal. This ragtag group of survivors huddle together, their backs against a crumbling brick wall. They're a diverse bunch, united only by their determination to survive. Eli, the former child star, has been surviving through the wasteland since the beginning of the outbreak with his trusty friend and fellow co-star of his hit film, Warpig. This pig rose to fame in Eli's previous 2 films and is now serving as his loyal companion and protector. Warpig snorts contently, her bristly ears twitching as she scans the horizon for any signs of danger. Braddock, the battle-hardened soldier, stands watchful guard beside them. His eyes dart back and forth, taking in every detail of their surroundings. Despite the desolation, he feels a sense of purpose and camaraderie with these survivors. They've been through hell and back, and yet they still manage to find strength in each other. He turns to Mac, his best friend and fellow survivor, a nod towards the figure stumbling through the trees in the distance. "You think that's one of ours?" he whispers, his voice barely audible above the moaning. Moving forward, they draw their knives and prepare. Doc, as he was known to his adoring fans, had been a YouTuber for as long as he could remember. His channel, appropriately titled The Zombie Apocalypse Survival Guide, he'd spent countless hours meticulously documenting his experiences and teaching his followers the ins and outs of surviving in a world overrun by the mythical undead. But even with all this preparation, he could never have anticipated the day where it would actually come crashing down around him, and everything he'd planned for as a joke came true. During the outbreak, the zombies roamed the streets in their never-ending search for flesh, and Doc had to survive quick and fast on his feet. Eventually he came across Mac and the other survivors and joined this ragtag group as they made their way to the church. Willow sits on the curb, her back against the cool brick of the building. She watches the last few embers of the fire dance in the iron gate set into the sidewalk, thinking about her time as a nurse and the colleagues and friends that she's now lost. The fire warmth fades, and with it she snapped back to reality of the zombie apocalypse. Looking to Mac and the others, she gets ready to move out as they make their way to the church on the outskirts of town. She will survive this. As the dawn's early light crept over the horizon, casting long shadows across the abandoned town, the survivors slowly emerged from the relative safety of the old warehouse next to the film studio. Their eyes were red-rimmed and bloodshot, faces haggard and drawn from the weeks of barely surviving in the zombie-infested wasteland that had once been their home. They moved silently, cautiously, their every step weighed down by the knowledge that at any moment one of the shambling horrors that now ruled the world might round the corner and spot them. Their pace was slow and measured, but with every step their determination grew stronger. Their destination was the old church on the outskirts of town, a place they had scouted out days earlier. It was secluded, well fortified, and most importantly, it was free from the undead hordes that seemed to have overrun every other structure in the area. As they made their way through the desolate streets, they kept a watchful eye on their surroundings, ready to spring into action at the slightest sign of danger. The group had been on the road and surviving, and they all vowed this would not be their last days. Zombie apocalypse. Right, so that's the team, and the little backstories about each of them as they've made their way to the church, ready for game one, as it were. It's been a fun little series, this. It's not actually over because I've got some stuff I want to add. I'm still in the process of picking up bits. Might even do like terrain tutorials for people if you want to see it. Some of the things that I'm going to be using in game. I've also got some NPC heroes that I want to paint up. I've got some miniatures for, and some bad guys, which would be interesting. So we've got some government types who are there to basically completely cleanse the area, and I've got like a rival sort of biker gang, which I mentioned in one of the earlier videos. So there will be other videos added to this series, but for now this is the end of the Last Days Zombie Apocalypse game by Ash Barker and Osprey Publishing. Strongly recommend you guys go out there and get this if you haven't already. It's a brilliant game, it's good fun, thoroughly enjoyed it. I managed to get a couple of games in at time of this recording and just having fun. But yeah, thank you everyone for all the support and the comments. There's been absolutely tons. Some really good feedback, constructive stuff as well that I've taken on board. So mixing up the music because it was getting a bit repetitive. Also, while we're here, I'm going to thank some of the comments on the naming. So while I didn't name the individual characters exactly as they were, I've used up a lot of the names on the list to name all of these characters. So thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. Hope you've all enjoyed it. We've got some painting videos coming up next in the following weeks, and as I say, as and when I get round to collecting all the stuff to keep adding to this game, I'll do some more videos for this playlist. But thank you all very much for watching, guys. Appreciate the support and the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and all that other good stuff for the YouTube and the algorithm. Helps get the channel growing. We're at 300 plus subscribers now. That's amazing for me. I can't believe it's gone this far. This was always just basically me to keep a record of everything I've done painted wise, and for people who want to watch it, great. But it's grown beyond what I was originally planning, and we're not even a year in, so thank you all very much for the support, and we'll see you on the next video. Cheers.